It is true that what you think about, you bring about. Why do some people accept bad treatment from others? Hello, I'm Sonia. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to give you 7 reasons why some people accept bad treatment from others. Do you ever say to yourself, why do I allow so and so to treat me like this? Well, the reason is deep down buried within you. And I think sometimes people actually do know the reason. They just don't want to get to the root of the reason. And the number one reason why most people accept bad treatment from others is because they have a low self-esteem. When you feel good about yourself, you won't allow other people to treat you bad. And the acceptance of bad treatment has more to do with you than the person given the bad treatment. It's because that person can detect that you don't feel good about yourself. So they decided or have decided to just treat you any kind of way because you accept it. And when you don't accept it, that's usually when you have a better ideal of yourself. When you have a low self-esteem, then you have to do things to try to work on yourself to change that. Um, your perception of yourself, how you see yourself in life, all of that plays a part of who you are or who you think you are. And the bottom line is your thinking of yourself. Your perception of yourself should always be greater than other people's perception of you. What you think about yourself is more important than what others think about you, how you see yourself. So, in order to improve upon that, you have to start doing some work on yourself. Discover self-awareness so you can really know. You have to do the internal work. You have to really know how you see yourself and what you think about yourself, and then begin to work on yourself. I know this so well because I had a low self-esteem. I didn't think highly of myself, but I went to work on myself to get to the root of it and to do something about it. So I know that it is possible to change the way you feel about yourself. I recognize it in other people when I see somebody with a low self-esteem because I went through it myself. But I went to work on myself. I read books on self-esteem. I, did whatever internal work that I needed to do to make myself know that I'm worthy, know that I'm valuable, know that I'm just as good as. But you have to do work on yourself in order to improve the way that you feel about yourself. The second reason why people allow bad treatment is because fear of rejection. Some people just cannot be by themselves or can live their life alone. So, in order to not feel rejected, they accept bad treatment. This fear of being alone or feeling abandoned or feeling rejected also goes back to the way that you feel about yourself. I don't, even with a low self esteem, I don't think I've ever felt that fear of being by myself or being alone because I didn't see myself wanting to be in a relationship where somebody treated me bad and I accepted it. I'm glad that wasn't a part of my self-esteem, but fear of rejection is a part of how you feel about yourself. So people will accept bad treatment just so they would not be alone. Again, you have to go to working on yourself in order to get rid of that feeling. I know of situations where people accepted infidelity, they accepted physical abuse, all because they didn't want to be by themselves. So that that goes back to how you feel about yourself, and knowing that you need to work on yourself in order to get rid of that feeling. The third reason why some people will accept bad treatment of themselves is because of past traumas. If they have experienced past trauma in their life, like uh, as a child you received physical abuse, or you've been told that you wouldn't amount to anything, or you're not worth anything, all of those beliefs that you've internalized it. If someone constantly said that to you, if you were abused as a child, if you were abused in an early relationship, any type of past trauma made you feel a certain way about yourself. You internalize those things that was done to you as being something that you did wrong, or that you created, and it made you internalize those beliefs until it became a part of your belief system. But you have to know that those things aren't your fault, and those things aren't true. You know, what somebody did to you was unfortunate, and it was not right for you to endure those things, and then you to internalize those beliefs about you. You have to find some way to take those beliefs about yourself and get rid of those beliefs out of your thinking, out of your subconscious belief, and plant new seeds in your mind that will help you become a productive human being. You know, we plant seeds in our mind. Our minds are like a garden. So you plant seeds in your garden, and those seeds are your thoughts and your beliefs. And especially when you feel those things with emotion, that becomes a part. That becomes the seed that's planted in the soil, and then it will cultivate and grow. So you have to find a way to uproot those beliefs about yourself, put in new information about yourself, and then that becomes a part of your belief system. The fourth reason why people accept bad behavior or bad treatment is because lack of boundaries. A lot of times we don't want to set limits on other people and give them boundaries because we fear that we may lose them, or fear that, they won't accept what we give to them. Lack of boundaries. As an individual, every human being should have boundaries that they set for themselves and set for other people. You don't tolerate certain things from other people, and your lack of setting boundaries. Also, everything goes back to how you feel about yourself. So that lack of setting boundaries and fear of losing them, if you don't allow those boundaries to be limitless, will keep you in that state of mind and in that toxic relationship or bad relationship. So you have to learn how to set boundaries. You're entitled to have boundaries set in your life where people don't violate those boundaries. If they can't deal with the boundaries or the limits that you set, then sometimes you have to question whether those people need to even be in your life. Everyone is entitled to have boundaries that they set for themselves, what you won't allow some people to do, or what you won't allow anybody to do. So, if someone doesn't like the boundaries that you set for yourself, then you need to question whether that person needs to be in your life. The fifth reason why we allow bad treatment is because of dependency. You may rely on somebody financially, uh, emotionally, socially, but your dependency on them is what's causing you to accept bad treatment from them. And again, I'm going to keep saying this all goes back to how you feel about yourself, because when you position yourself to be in a good, healthy way that you see yourself, then you won't have to have dependency financially or emotionally or even socially on somebody. And a lot of times people tend to use those things against you because they know that you're dependent on them, that you need them emotionally for the love, or financially for the help, or socially for, you know, navigating with other people. But the more you secure yourself in knowing who you are, the less dependent you will be on somebody else to provide that for you. That's not their job, that's yours. So it goes back to how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. The sixth reason why you allow bad treatment from others is because you have normalized toxicity. You have normalized being in a toxic situation. You know, when you've grown up or you've been in a situation so long that it's been so toxic, it becomes a part of what you expect. And just because you make something normal doesn't make it right. Again, how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself. You have to go to work on yourself to make something that's not good for you. Uh, you have to get rid of it, or you have to unnormalize it. You know, some bad treatment should never feel normal. You know, being treated a certain way that tears you down should never be normalized. It all goes back to how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. The seventh reason why people allow or accept bad treatment from others is because of a desire to please. I call it the disease to please. You know, whenever you prioritize doing something to please someone over prioritizing yourself, you have a desire to please, the disease to please. You know, it's nothing wrong with doing something for somebody or making other people feel good, but when it becomes the habit, becomes the norm in your life to prioritize anything else over you and put yourself last, that's having a desire or a need to please. All needs in your life should be met, whether it's with you or like your children or your spouse, but putting yourself last in every situation is not really feeling good about yourself. You have that desire to please other people, to make them satisfied, and not seeing yourself as necessary or a priority. All of these reasons that I gave you why some people accept bad treatment, it all has to do with how they see themselves, what they feel about themselves, and how they move forward in this life. What I said earlier about your mind is true. You know, we all have a certain image, a certain way that we see ourselves and what we think about ourselves. And a lot of times, how we see ourselves or what we think about ourselves came from our past, from our upbringing, from what we were taught when we were children, from what we were taught from society and the world. And you have to examine how you see yourselves, because that will dictate how you move further in your life. You know, in our society, in this American culture, um, a lot of how we see ourselves is based on our conditioning. You know, growing up as an African American, our history in this country was based on how we manifested beliefs about ourselves because of post-slavery. When we as a people were conditioned to believe that we were inferior, and that belief system kind of manifested down throughout the generations, you know, because the popular majority uh, conditioned a whole group of people to believe that they were less than, that they were inferior, that they were three-quarters of a human being. Now, I know slavery doesn't exist anymore, but a lot of the beliefs during that time still do. And sometimes our beliefs, because it was instilled in our subconscious mind, a lot of times we don't even know that we see ourselves that way. So I would encourage anybody, especially anyone of African descent, to really question how you see yourself. Do you see yourself as being inferior, or do you see yourself as being an equal person in this world? We are all God's children. God didn't create anyone to be superior or inferior. That happened to be a human construct, and it's definitely not true. We are all human beings who all have the capability and the willingness to learn and grow in this world. But you have to think about what you've been thinking about, or how you see yourself, and determine from there what you need to do to go forward in life and how you see yourself in this world. So that is all that I have for you today, and I thank you for listening to my video. If you like what I've said or anything resonates with you, please consider giving it a like. If you know someone that has low self-esteem and who could probably use help with this video, please share it with them. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that. And comment on the video. If you disagree with some of the things, I want to hear what you have to say about what I just said. And also, if you have subscribed to this video, thank you so much for supporting my channel. And you be sure to hit that bell notification button in case whenever I upload a new video, you'll be the first to know that it's out. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I will see you in the next video.